Greetings, fellow captains, and welcome back to another episode of World of Warships with the Hive Hand. And today we're going to be looking at and talking about the Elbing. So I know a bunch of other people have already done their reviews. I'm probably a bit late to the party, but I just wanted to make sure that I was giving a real accurate representation of this ship. Because playing 4 matches, getting a good one and reviewing the ship is probably not the best idea in the world. Okay, so let's get the fun facts out of the way. Okay, so the Elbing is the most accurate ship in the game. Its armor piercing is ridiculously good for a destroyer. It has higher penetration angles and higher penetration values because it has a really low shell arc. But its gun range is extremely poor, I think, for what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a bit more of a small cruiser rather than a traditional destroyer. Its armor piercing is just trash. You're better off overpenning stuff with your armor piercing than shooting at stuff with the HE. It's genuinely pretty awful and doesn't really add much value to the game. So hit points wise, as you can probably see on screen, I've got just shy of 40,000 hit points. Now for a destroyer, yes, that's amazing. For a ship that doesn't have a citadel, it is very good. And I'm not going to lie, I've had plenty of games where I've done very good in this ship. This is going to be one of those games where I do have a particularly good game. But one trend that I noticed significantly whilst I've been playing this ship is it creates a lot of losses. It creates a hell of a lot of losses. It's really it's the worst destroyer in the game. As destroyers go, there are no other destroyers as bad as the Elbing. You just said it had really good guns, though. This is... What are you talking about, Hound? What are you telling me? You've said it's got loads of hit points. You said its guns were really good. Yes, yeah, its guns are really good against cruisers. It's actually pretty good at farming damage from battleships. But it cannot go up against other DDs. The only way you're going to win a fight against another DD or not lose the majority of your hit points is through them angling stupid. If they angle to you, like if they stay flat broadside, you're just going to overpen them. You're not going to do any damage. It's going to be fairly fruitless. Your turning circle is 10 meters short of a Yamato. So this is not agile. You are not going to be able to get out of the way of torpedoes if you see them coming. It's so, in essence, it does what it's meant to do. Okay, premium ships are supposed to be unique. They're supposed to have something about them that's different, that creates a new playstyle. It doesn't have smoke, so you can't sit in your smoke farming stuff. It does have smoke, but it doesn't have sonar, so you can't sit in your smoke farming a lot of damage if there's other DDs about. Because if they put torps into your smoke, you're gonna die. So essentially, what I'm saying, so we can't look at this the Elbing as a DD. It's not. It's a cruiser. Okay, so granted, it's a cruiser that does not have a citadel, which is an advantage, but it's a cruiser that only has if you try and max it out and don't focus on getting the extra hit points, it's a cruiser that maxes out its range at about 13 kilometers, which is terrible for tier 8. Honestly, if any cruiser is smart enough, a cruiser player, is smart enough to go bow in, you've got 150mm guns. You're not going to overmatch the bows of many cruisers at all. So smart cruiser will just angle in against you and just tear you apart because you're not maneuverable enough to get away. You're not fast enough to get away. There's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. As you can see in the background here, I am successfully farming this Massachusetts quite well, but like you see the damage I'm doing. I'm getting like 3,000 damage per salvo. But I have to be within 12 kilometers to do this, which means my escape vectors when my smoke runs out are quite low. I'm lucky in this game that the enemy DDs just aren't effective against me, because we all know DDs, as much as I hate to admit it, DDs are what wins matches. Whichever team has the best DD player, or players, because you see quite a lot of them in matches, they're the ones that are going to win the match. And the Elbing is not a DD. You're removing a DD from your match and removing a DD from your game. Despite how much fun this boat is, and it really is fun. It really is an exciting ship to play. You're just taking too much out of your basket. You're losing too much. So I'm like saying it's not a DD. It's like, yeah, I did contest that cap, but I had another DD with me, so it was fine for me to do that. And so yeah, okay. Yugamo's about to get destroyed by our DD. Yeah, this is fantastic. Watch now. The salvo, bump, 3 citadels on a Worcester, take a huge chunk of his damage, of his hit pools. But he's in a situation where he's a bit screwed. I kind of caught him by surprise there. We are going to try and finish him off. If he's smart, he would have angled against us. And as you can see, he's shooting at our other DD. So fortunately, we do manage to score a decent shot. And as you can see now, he's angling up against us, or trying to, and there, like 1,700 hit points from a salvo, despite these guns being the most accurate in the game. You know, what did we score there? Like another 2k maybe. So with him being angled like that, it's yeah, it's if he angled and if he focused at us, we would have been dead. So obviously we're expecting this Flander to turn in, so that's exactly what we're doing with our torps. We're pointing our torps, not where the aiming reticle is where we're going to expect him to be in the coming moments. So essentially, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yes, it's a fun ship. Yes, it's different. It does everything that it's supposed to do, apart from be a destroyer. It is really, it's almost the anti-destroyer. It's about as far removed from a destroyer as you can be. Its detectability isn't great. Its torps are pretty good. I can't deny it, but I've had quite a bit of success with the torps. They're quite slow. They're quite long range though. So its torps overall are fairly decent. But it's just not a destroyer. And this is what I was talking about, like the trends I noticed. Like, I lose more in the Elbing than I do any other destroyer. If I pick any other destroyer, I don't know, I haven't checked the numbers, and somebody's probably going to come up with some sort of snarky comment about it. But genuinely, if I'm playing a destroyer, I probably win 70% of matches. I'm pretty good in the destroyer, not that I like to play them. Particularly like gunboat destroyers, that's my like forte. That's the type of destroyers I like to play, particularly the Americans and the Germans in general. But yeah, when I play those kinds of ship, I probably win 70% of the time. Playing the Elbing, I probably win 30% of the time. Although I will have pretty impressive damage and kill numbers by the end of the match. Losing that ability to contest caps, you can't really contest caps, or at least not by yourself. You can't contest a cap in the Elbing. So taking caps is a problem. Scouting is a problem because your detectability is worse than every other DD. Okay, besides some of the heavy Russian ones like the Khabarovsk or the Tashkent. I think even the Denley outspots it. Other things it's going to come up against, like the Sumner. The Sumner is going to tear this apart. The Delney is going to tear it apart, particularly in gunfights. Any cruiser player that's got enough sense to go, oh my god, yeah, it's that little shit of a destroyer, let's angle against him, is going to win. Any smart DD player is going to know, just sail flat broadside to it. Once you figure that out, just sail flat broadside to it. It's not going to be able to hurt you. It's just going to overpen. And yeah, so I get it. It's in the right place. It is quirky. It's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be different. But it's a terrible DD and a mediocre cruiser at best. It occupies a space where there's no real space for it to be effective. But like I said, if you want something quirky and you want something fun, it is going to be available for Global XP, so you might want to wait for that. Anyway, I have waffled on far too long, and I'm going to have to extend this clip. So as you can see, we had a decent battle. We finished just shy of 3,000 XP. I said, yes, it's fun. Yes, it's quirky. Do you need this ship? 100% not. This ship is purely for the Craigsmere fanboys. This ship adds no value to the game. It's a terrible TD. Like I said, it's a pretty mediocre cruiser. It's very reliant on sort of the stupidity of others to do well in. And yeah, I just think. Put it this way, I am 100%, I'm not even going to bid the minimum on this in the auction. It'll come back as GXP, and if I've run out of ships to go for, then I'll probably pick it up just to add it to my collection. But other than that, I have absolutely no inclination to get this boat. So if, they're 100%, they're going to be people that will spend stupid money on it in the auction house, and essentially, I guess all we can do is sit back and giggle at them, because you're losing a DD and you're throwing away, you throw in matches by playing it. Unfortunately, as much as I do actually like playing it, I've had fun in it, but you're just throwing games away because it can't function as a destroyer, and losing a destroyer means you're losing matches. Anyway, I have waffled on far too long already, so thank you very much, everyone, for stopping by and checking out this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give a good old thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts on this, premium auction house ship, and until next time, take care.